I'm not making any comments on that. Other than, I've told you guys this for the last, couple of years. I've always just taken it 1 year at a time and kind of reevaluate each offseason and then, find the things I want to get better at and move on.
Drew Brees from after the overtime loss to Minnesota on Sunday. He is a free agent. He turns 41 next week. 3 straight seasons of horrendous disappointment, walk-off losses to the Vikings, the Rams, and the Vikings again. And let's figure out what the Saints need to do moving forward. Any talk of Sean Payton becoming the Cowboys coach ended before it could even start now that Mike McCarthy's the guy in Dallas. Sean Payton staying put. The question is, who's his quarterback going to be? That's the issue that's going to hover over this franchise. Brees is an unrestricted free agent. Teddy Bridgewater is an unrestricted free agent. And Taysom Hill is a restricted free agent. And the most you can use on an RFA is a first-round tender. And if somebody out there decides this is Lamar Jackson 2.0, we'll pay him. It could be hard for the Saints to keep him around, especially if they have a contract in place for Brees for 2020.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, I think that's where the conversation starts, is what to do with Drew Brees. Yes, that's going to be huge. You kind of got to figure that out to figure out what course you want the rest of your organization to take. Do I think they need another wide receiver on that side of the ball? Maybe another Ted Ginn type guy who's along those, mold. He's getting to the age where his speed is not as special as it used to be. But I don't know if you really need that guy if you got Drew Brees at quarterback, because I don't know if he can necessarily reach it or, totally take advantage of all the times that guy might be open within an offense running a go route or a deep post route like we talked about. So that's the
Deontay Harris can be. They already have Deontay Harris.
He could be that guy too. You're right. He could be a weapon X.
That guy.
He could be that guy. That's right. So it's not desperate. But the big thing is with Drew Brees. I mean, Drew Brees is good still. He's not great, as we saw the other day. He's not making plays for the offense. It's if throws are there and people are open, he's still accurate and can throw the ball on time and has great timing and rhythm and all that. But if Sean Payton doesn't make the perfect call or somebody, breaks through pass protection, can he make a play like a Mahomes or a Watson or some of the other top-tier quarterbacks in football anymore and go, don't worry, Sean, I know things are broken down. I'll figure something out and make it happen? Absolutely not. And that's huge in the NFL. And I think that's been a big problem for the Saints in some of these playoff runs. Is there's just too much pressure on Sean Payton to constantly deliver the right play and the right scheme all the time, and not necessarily the quarterback bailing him out with great play or a great touchdown throw or whatever it may be to help the team out that way. So I think that is a huge, huge discussion the Saints have to have.
We'll eventually know by the middle of March at the latest what the Saints are going to do at quarterback. Until then, we'll look for clues. Here's Coach Sean Payton talking about one of his options, Taysom Hill, after Sunday's game.
Yeah, look, he's a good football player. He enjoys playing. He does a lot of things well. He competes. He had the fake punt, actually, and there's just a number of things. He really is an asset for us. He's a great teammate, and he made a lot of plays.
It is amazing what they have him do. And, one of the problems, Chris, if you make Taysom Hill your starting quarterback, you lose Taysom Hill for all the other stuff that he does.
Yes.
That's part of this analysis.
No doubt it is, because, that's a tough balance. First off, he's not like Lamar Jackson to where he's going to be able to avoid hits and make people miss all the time. He's different. I mean, this guy wants to run you over, not run by you. So you're exactly right. You lose that aspect of having the dangerous quarterback run attack. Oh, we're going to outnumber you and all of that stuff. If Taysom Hill is the quarterback, yes, it's there, but you can't continually beat that drum and go, oh, give it to Taysom Hill between the tackles again, 20 times a game. No way. As a physical a freak as he is, even he would break down after that. So you're right. I don't know if that means you just platoon him in more next year if Drew Brees is there or Teddy Bridgewater's the quarterback. But really, offensively, Mike, I don't know if you agree or not, that's really the only thing they got to figure out. Offensive line, great. Running backs, good. Receivers, certainly really good with Jared Cook and, of course, Michael Thomas and Cameron Meredith. And you mentioned the punt returner, Devontae Harris. Or not
Deontay Harris.
Yeah, Deontay
Harris.
But on defense, that's the next thing they got to figure out. I would think they're going to tweak the secondary a little bit once again. I mean, there was corner issues this year. How many weeks did we come away watching football together on Sunday going, Saints can't cover anybody? Or when the Saints have to play man-to-man, they can't do it other than Marshawn Lattimore. So I would figure those are some things they got to look at as well.
Yeah, and, back to the quarterback situation, because obviously it's a pretty big issue.
Pretty big.
Right?
Yeah.
And I mean, it really creates a nightmare scenario potentially if you guess wrong, right? Like, what if you decide now's the time to move on from Drew Brees and he goes somewhere else? What if Bruce Arians decides, hey, between Drew Brees and Jameis Winston, give me Drew Brees? I'll take Drew Brees. I've worked with Ben Roethlisberger. I've worked with Peyton Manning. I've worked with Andrew Luck. I'll gladly take Drew Brees.
But those
at 41
fears should
years
be
old.
gone. They should be gone. I mean, they only lost with Drew Brees at quarterback this year. They went undefeated with Teddy Bridgewater. So those fears should be out the window. The team, the organization should be able to sit there and go, you know what? If we had Teddy Bridgewater at quarterback, we'd probably been in the same exact spot. And I don't mean to knock that. Maybe not as good. Okay, maybe not. I don't know. But either way, what we do know is he went 5-0 against some really good teams.
Brees was special that Monday night game against the Indianapolis Colts, 29 of 30.
Sure.
He had 116-plus passer rating, the highest of his career. And I know that's an NFL formula but it takes into account completion percentage, yards per attempt, touchdown passes, interceptions. He had a great season statistically.
Yes.
I know they lost all their games on his watch, but it's not going to be an easy decision.
No.
And I'm an advocate of going with Taysom Hill. If you're going to compare the guy to Steve Young, which Sean Payton previously has done, then at some point you got to put your money where your mouth is.
Well,
and if you think the guy's Steve Young, you got to give Steve Young a chance to play.
Well, that's right. I mean, that's the thing. Yes, to what you're saying too. Like, hey, Drew Brees in the Colts game and some of those games. Yeah, I get it. He maximizes it. If Teddy Bridgewater or Taysom Hill were playing quarterback in that game, I think they have outrageous stats too. Maybe they're not 29 to 30 like Brees was. Maybe they were 24 of 30, okay? But it might be for more explosive plays down the field. I do think the ceiling for what Taysom Hill can be can make the ceiling higher for the Saints going forward than it is with Drew Brees right now. Two things. Last year, the NFC Championship game, even though I know they got screwed over, that game should have been over early. The Rams were asleep and messing up, and the Saints had the short fields off the turnovers and a good punt return and everything. And, they had to settle for field goals. The week before that in the Eagles game, they kind of took away all the short passing game too. Life was hard for the Saints. We saw it again last week, in this past game. Life became hard once he couldn't hit Alvin Kamara and Michael Thomas over the middle like he usually does. Once that was taken away, and that's what we saw in a lot of the losses, those throws get taken away, and it's almost like, well, Drew, we don't think you can throw it deep, or we don't think you can throw it outside the numbers to beat us. Show us you can do that, and maybe we'll change our defense. And that's, to me, to where the big questions Sean Payton's going to have to answer, because can he continue to live life like that with Drew Brees, or does he want to expand and maybe not have somebody quite as efficient, but maybe more dangerous?
I'm fascinated by the possibility of Teddy Bridgewater and Taysom Hill both playing. And I thought that's what we were going to see during that 5-game stretch when Drew Brees was injured. I was surprised we didn't see more Taysom Hill. But I think that if there's a way to keep Bridgewater and Hill and say goodbye to Drew Brees, and it's not going to be easy to do, and folks in New Orleans need to start getting their brains around the idea. The people who aren't the ardent, zealous, pay attention to it everyday fans, the casual New Orleans Saints fan who is going to wake up one day and see the headline that Drew Brees is gone, you need to start getting ready for it now.
Yeah.
Because I think there's a good chance it's coming, Chris.
Yeah, no, you're right. Well, it's weird because I feel like the Patriots fan base is like further along down the road with like accepting Brady might not be there than New Orleans is with Drew Brees right now. But
that's because of us.
Yeah, I
that's
guess
because
so.
the media has only been talking about Tom Brady.
I think you're right.
I tried to spotlight this on Sunday morning. Hey, folks, while we're paying attention to Tom Brady possibly being done in New England, this may be Drew Brees' last game in New Orleans, too, and nobody's saying boo about it.
No, you're right. It's kind of flown under the radar there, without a doubt. But, yeah, that's the million-dollar question for the New Orleans Saints. And, man, I'm glad I don't have to make that decision. I'm not. That's why Sean Payton gets paid a lot of money. But, other than that, again, the Saints are a team that I expect to be somewhat similar to what they were this year. Again, really no matter who's quarterback. I don't think this team is going anywhere. I think Sean Payton will make the proper adjustments on the defensive side of the ball. Maybe they can find another pass rusher, for the just in case a Davenport or somebody gets banged up again. But, for a really good football team, they're not going to fall off earth, and they're not far away, and I don't expect them to go too far, as far as this offseason. I think they'll be right back in the playoff hunt once again next year.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.